Welcome back to the Hood Table. One more again. Come on in, hoodies. Make sure you please like and share the video. Please and thank you very much. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new here. And of course, we do have memberships, so feel free to join by hitting the join button to become a part of the members, as well as if you want to donate to the commentary or to the platform, our Cash App is $ the Hood Table 402. Once again, in our neck of the woods, we have another police involved shooting from the Omaha Police Department in our neck of the woods. And once again, Douglas County Attorney is trying to say that the actions of an officer was justified in the deadly shooting. Right now, we are going to go to a news clipping here from KETV, you guys, so you guys can get caught up on what's been going on. And a lot of people in our neck of the woods who might be watching me right now, you are pretty familiar with this story, especially those of you that are closely involved or closely related to the victim. So once again, let's go to this news clip on KETV, and I want to definitely put up my copyright disclaimer under copyright section 107 for fair use.
Tonight, the Douglas County Attorney says the shooting death of a 22-year-old by Omaha police is justified. Thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Cornell.
I'm Rob McCartney. It was the second officer-involved shooting since August. According to a police report, Stephen Phipps was shot 8 times by Officer Noah Zendejas in just seconds. Phipps fled from a traffic stop 10 days ago near 31st Avenue and Taylor Street. Body-worn camera footage shows Zendejas and Officer Alex Atkinson giving Phipps verbal commands to stay inside his car. When he jumped the fence, Phipps had a gun in his hand, which police say he did own legally.
Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says Officer Zendejas' actions were justified after reviewing video evidence and statements.
And KETV News Watch 7's Jessica Perez has the community reaction to this decision. Jessica.
The county attorney's decision is disappointing to community members like Reverend Portia Cabot. She's been providing a space for the community to talk about the shooting at her church. The Omaha Police Officers Association is standing by the officer. In a press release sent out at 4:21 this afternoon, the county attorney made his position clear, saying Omaha police officer Noah Zendejas was justified when he shot 22-year-old Stephen Phipps 8 times.
I'm definitely disappointed, but did not think anything other than this is what Don Klein would say.
September 28th, Zendejas and his partner Alex Atkinson pulled Phipps over at 31st and Taylor. Video from the Metro Transit station shows Phipps got out of the car, then ran, leaping over a fence with a gun in hand before Zendejas fires. In an audio file shared by Omaha Police, you can hear the interaction.
Hey, stay in the car, bro. Stay in the car. Hey, what are you doing? Stay in the car. What are you doing? What's the transit center? David, stop! David, stop! David, stop!
In his statement, Klein says after careful review of the video evidence and statements made, the actions of Mr. Phipps in producing a firearm at the traffic stop, not complying with the officer's commands, and Mr. Phipps' gun barrel being pointed towards the officers during the incident justified the officer's decision to use deadly force. Reverend Portia Cabot has provided a safe space at her church for family and the community to come together as new details in the shooting continue to unfold. She recognized the public does not have all the evidence at this time, but says the stills from Zendejas' body camera tell a different story.
The fact that you're saying that his gun was pointed at you, the only time that we saw that weapon pointed at you was when he was coming down over the fence.
The Omaha Police Officers Association President Patrick Dempsey says he supports Officer Zendejas and will not comment further until the completion of the grand jury. Cabot tells me she'd like to see a special investigator brought in to re-examine the case before it's handed to a grand jury. We reached out to Klein's office for an interview and have not gotten a response from him tonight. Back to you.
Okay, you guys, so we just heard and we also saw some of that police footage, well, the actual still footages of the police officer involved shooting. And as you can see there, I'm sure some of you can probably understand why some members of our community, including the family of Stephen Phipps, doesn't understand why the officer had to fire 8 rounds, 8 bullets, 8 shots within 3 seconds as Stephen, as he was running away, jumping over a fence, just trying to get away from the officers. And once again, I always say yes. And in such situations where an officer is trying to pull you over, there are certain things that you have to do and certain things that you cannot do that could probably save your life. I tell these things to my sons all the time. I only have 2 sons, and I try to raise them. And I used to ask them questions all the time. What would you do if this happened? What would you do if that happened? Especially if you have a gun in your possession. Now, Stephen did have a gun in his possession, as we can see in the footage. And also, they said that he had a right to own that gun. So he had a license. That was his gun. It was registered, or he had a license for the gun. So it wasn't stolen or anything like that. It was his gun. But for some reason, he didn't want to stop and get pulled over. So he got out of his car. He ran and jumped over the fence. Now, most people from this community know that area pretty well. 31st and Taylor. That's over there by the McDonald's. Over there by Phil's Foodway, and over there by the bus company, and a little bit by the police station as well. So over in that area where the fence is, that's where he was running and jumping over the fence. And when you saw him flip over the fence, he had the gun in his hand. And so the officer saying the gun was pointed at him, and that's why they felt the need to shoot him, in fear if they were going to be shot. That's what the officer was saying. But like that minister was saying, that pastor was saying, the only time that the gun was pointed at the police officers was when he was running and jumping. And I'm sure if we saw a video of that, I'm sure it would have went really quickly with him running, trying to get away from the cops and jumping over the fence. I don't know if y'all ever done that when y'all was little, but I used to do that all the time. I was a tomboy and used to run around and play with the boys, football, basketball, all that kind of stuff. And running and jumping over fence was nothing. And we would do it all the time. But when you literally jumping over the fence, you're just literally in the air, just floating over the fence. And it doesn't seem like he was actually trying to point the gun at the cops, which is, one reason why a lot of people in our area is really concerned about this latest police involved shooting that they deem justified. Now, the family members did speak out regarding this. Ministers spoke out, community leaders spoke out, but we're going to watch this next clip of some of the family members speak out. And again, I'm going to put up my copyright disclaimer for purposes of criticism, comment, and news reporting.
Was acting out of fear and didn't deserve to die.
It has to stop. It's hurtful. It's just hurtful how they just stereotype our young boys. If they have tattoos, if they have this, they have that. It's hard, but we just really want justice because he was not what they're trying to make him out to be.
Church leaders, community activists, and civil rights organizations all gathered to respond to the police news conference today.
John Chapman reports community members feel there's a lot of work to be done to repair trust with police.
2 members of North Omaha's church community watching the Omaha Police News Conference as it happens, paying close attention, taking notes. Their initial response best described as disappointing.
Mayor Stocker saying that the citizens are safe. Evidently, African-American Black men are not safe in Omaha. We know that people have a right to own guns. And why is it that when a Black man has a gun, that the officer fears for his life?
Why did they have to shoot him 8 times? I don't understand that.
Later, the 2 church leaders were joined by other members of the North Omaha community, the church and family members of Stephen Phipps.
They know they harassed them, and they know what they did. All we want is justice for them. Y'all can't keep running around here doing this to our young boys. Y'all have everybody scared. Like, it makes no sense in the world. He didn't deserve it.
Family members say Phipps was targeted by police, and he was afraid, a fear that others say is contagious in the North Omaha community.
Because there's a great sadness in our community, especially among Black males who are currently in fear for their lives. Oftentimes we talk about how officers are in fear for their lives, but we don't speak about the fact that everyday average people are currently afraid of interactions with police.
It's a shame that there's a mother and a family grieving today. In my opinion, it's unnecessary. In my opinion, the young man did not need to, did not deserve to be shot.
Many in the community have witnessed similar scenes over the years, like the one near 31st and Taylor a few days ago when Phipps was shot by police.
Things just have to change because it appears that Black lives have no value.
President of the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, Pastor Portia Cavett, says there is work to be done to make things right between police and the Black community in the wake of 2 Black men being killed by police in a 30-day period.
We need to look at this. We need to look at the police procedures and the policies that they have. Yes, we have a gun problem, but that is not the African American community's problem. That is a national problem. But in Omaha, we have a police-involved shooting problem.
On your side in Omaha, I'm John Chapman, 6 News.
Pastor Cavett says on Sunday they will have a town hall meeting at Clare Memorial United Methodist Church at 4 o'clock. It's for the community to share their feelings and concerns about police shootings in the Black community.
All right, you guys, we have family members there on the news show, on the news segment, I should say. And they were saying that basically Stephen was targeted and that he was harassed. Now, I would like to say that there was some Facebook posts and Facebook comments about this officer who was involved in the shooting of Stephen Phipps. So let me go to that real quick so we can all go through it together. Okay, you guys, so this is a picture of the officer that was involved in the police officer shooting of Stephen Phipps, and his name, I believe, is pronounced Noah Zendeas. And there was a Facebook post made by somebody by the name of Megan, and it is a public post. So, you know, I feel comfortable saying their name, but so that I not show all the names from the comments of the people below, I'm just going to read what the post said, and then I'll read some of the comments below. But Megan said, y'all better take this bitch badge. He has literally been harassing me and my child illegally. Pulled over her Tahoe every chance he could get. Raided her home and illegally searched her vehicle. Lied and said my son took him on a high-speed chase and some more shit. He is a dirty MF. He don't deserve to be on the field. He literally lurks to mess with, what they say, fuck with Black young men. And then Megan says, I got so much footage of him and the harassment. And other people are like, expose him. And Megan says, I would, baby. I'm feeling like I need to protect my kids if they don't fire him. Somebody else said, I completely understand that we need to start a petition. He needs to be fired. I've seen others say he was harassing them as well. And let me pull up this little clip from Megan.
And I know y'all. What's the problem now?
Just traffic stop. This looks like we get tourist search.
Another traffic stop out of nowhere.
We get another one. The first one, I tried to stop, he fled.
No, that ain't what happened.
What happened?
We went to court about it. That wasn't what happened.
What happened?
Y'all hit y'all lights and turned off. Definitely did. Oh, I went to court for that. Trust me, I know what happened.
Because we can't chase a car. That's why.
Y'all can't chase cars. Y'all chase everybody 24/7. What y'all talking about? I see y'all chasing people 24/8 around here.
Lights on?
With lights on.
Our lights on. Our lights on.
Y'all got y'all lights on or y'all don't got y'all lights on. Either way, and y'all got other covers every time. At this point, I'm starting to feel like it's harassment.
Harassing you? It's only the second time I met you. The first time wasn't.
Third
time.
Third time we done met.
First time I was helping you out.
Third time we done met.
Yeah. First time someone swear gun, I was helping you out.
And y'all still didn't get it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, hell.
No, y'all didn't even get him.
We did get the gun, actually.
How y'all got the gun and anybody told me y'all got my gun?
Well, it's being used in an investigation, right? That's why.
What? Since when? Because I swear to God,
No one called you?
nobody ever called me about my gun. Otherwise, I would have been came for my
No,
gun.
you can't get it. It was
I know, even if it's an investigation, I would have got called. Because I own that gun. It's registered.
They probably just forgot to call you.
Ain't nobody gonna forget to call you about your gun.
I
Y'all didn't forget to contact me when y'all told me y'all went to go get it, but y'all didn't get the gun. Y'all told me y'all didn't get the gun.
For what?
When y'all went to go find my gun, y'all told me y'all didn't have it.
The first time, no, we didn't get it.
So when the hell did y'all get it?
Probably like what, 2 months ago?
That was about when the hell it happened.
It was a few weeks after we found it, but yeah, right now it's evidence. I'm surprised they haven't called you yet.
Ain't nobody called me about that damn gun. I would have been happy to know that somebody found my gun.
All right. You guys are good for the verbal warning. All right, just make sure.
Okay, so that was some footage from Megan. I don't know too much about the gun that she's referring to as far as, somebody took her gun or whatnot. But she did make a post saying that officer, she believes, should lose his badge. And underneath that post as well, another person said, that officer is the same one that has been trailing my son from school every day. We just put in a report on him last Thursday. And Megan said he literally rides by the house. And somebody else said, I think he was like with a gang unit before and keep forgetting what unit he works for now. Somebody says, I'm going to remind him every occurrence needs to be reported. Somebody else said the Department of Justice under the current administration will investigate. Another person said, what I don't understand is why he shot the baby 8 damn times. I'm sorry that my cousin was subjected to harassment, and I'm grateful to know that they didn't experience what Mr. Phipps did. But 8 times is crazy. These officers are supposed to be trained to de-escalate a situation, not kill. And let me bring the picture of the officer up here one more time while I am reading about things that people have to say about him. Somebody else say he looks like he means no good. Somebody else say he definitely doesn't. Somebody else said, yeah, please air that shit out so OPD can see this and address it and see the pattern caused by this officer. And they said this could have been your son, and you know, and again, how many times he's gotten harassed by the officer. And now, for those of you who are familiar with our Omaha scanner page on Facebook, I just want to read like the details that they posted of the shooting of that day. Now, again, this happened on September 28th. It was Saturday, September 28th. We did see the video footage of that. We also heard the audio of that as well. Now, what it says was 2 Omaha police officers, Noah Zendejas and Alex Atkinson, conducted a traffic stop on Saturday, September 28th at 5:45 p.m. Officers in a marked cruiser, both in uniform. The driver stopped Stephen Phipps, got out of the car, stood near driver's side door. Officer gave 3 loud verbal commands to stay in the car. The officer gave an additional command. Mr. Phipps ignored and ran south. Both officers ran after him. Officer gave 3 additional loud commands to Mr. Phipps to stop. Mr. Phipps can be seen on BWC holding a black semi-automatic pistol in right hand. He jumps over a fence on the northern border of the Omaha Transit Center, which is the bus station. Those are of you who are from the neighborhood are familiar with that area. Officers and Zendejas fired 8 shots, striking Mr. Phipps. The officer climbs the fence and provides medical attention to Mr. Phipps. A video is being shown from the Omaha Transit Center showing the entirety of the situation. The audio clips from the BWC are being played. Images from the BWC are being shown. The photo shows Mr. Phipps going over the fence with a firearm visible in his right hand, a cell phone, a black Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7 handgun. It was loaded with 15 live rounds and 1 in the chamber. The car had a magazine containing 22 live rounds for the same weapon found at the scene and 1 live round on the floor. Car registration in the car. An autopsy showed the fatal round entered through the shoulder area. This incident is the subject of a criminal investigation by the Douglas County Attorney and is the subject of an internal investigation. Now, we did see the update of that basically they're saying that the shooting was justified. There were some questions. What is the standard for officer defending themselves? And Chief Smotemeyer said there's a policy on using deadly force. Explains Mr. Smith exiting the car, running, and the gun pointing at officers going over the fence. Again, how many times was Mr. Phipps shot? 8 times in the front area. Did he own the gun legally? He was a legal owner of the gun. If he stayed in the car, declared the gun, he would have only received a ticket for expired plate. There was another question. How do you answer shooting and killing 2 black armed men in a month? Chief Smodemeyer said, I don't like it. This is a tough time for Omaha and the community. We've had one other tough time when we spent months catching Anthony Garcia, and we had Jenkins right after. It's serious that 2 community members have died. We are committed to the community to stabilize it. It's destabilized. Another question was, how are officers trained when seeing a gun? Is it immediately to shoot? Are officers in academy trained on non-bias? Smodemeyer answers, OPD committed to non-bias training and a diverse culture within OPD. Training on shooting or not shoot is heavily trained on. In academy and outside, it depends on the circumstance. Seeing a gun that isn't a threat is one answer. Seeing a gun in hand that poses a threat means you can defend your life. This shouldn't be hard to understand. Officers have tough job. Officers are taking guns off the street every night, numerous times. The dynamics of policing have changed in this country and Nebraska, concern of mine. Another question was, meeting with family was emotional. Can you share more on that meeting? Smodemeyer said, no, it's important to keep those confidential. If family wants to discuss, they can, but we called a private meeting. And another question was asked, how do you build bridges and trust? There's a community meeting later today. There's a population certainty that something will happen. It doesn't mean we abandon and get rid of community relations. It doesn't mean there won't be tough times in relationships. Both us, the OPD, and the community wants to be in relationship. We will continue to entrench ourselves in these relationships. Now, as far as that meeting, that was at Clare Memorial United Methodist Church. That did happen the other day on Sunday, October 6th at 4 p.m. And again, that was at Clare Memorial United Methodist Church. But what happened at that meeting involving other police officers has the city even more upset about what's been going on in our community. So let's take a look at this clip right here.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But they literally just left from the church.
Oh, did they?
They were at the church.
Oh, wow.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. We don't want to obstruct, so, you know.
They all just left from the church, though.
Okay.
They all.
So just to give you a little insight on what we're about to see, at that meeting at Clare, the church, the other day on Sunday, after the services, several guys, which happen to be relatives of the deceased of Stephen Phipps, who was shot by the police officer and killed, several of those cousins were at that meeting. And then shortly thereafter, when they were leaving, they were pulled over by these officers that were also near the church as well the entire time. So I'm going to go ahead and press play again.
Just like from the church.
Maybe it was a traffic stop. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, we know I remember the last traffic stop.
Right. We ain't playing no more. We taking back. They ain't about to be killing us. That was a lie. I don't care who it is. Did he say a traffic stop?
No,
He said a traffic. Y'all doing a lot of traffic stops.
Y'all is. It ain't the end of the month. It's the beginning. I don't got no quota to meet just yet.
Yeah. Thanks.
Say hi. She got like 20.
Yeah, she young. She see what's going on. Look.
Oh no, we're not interfering. Don't lie.
Look. Don't say obstruction. I love you tonight. I can't even zoom.
But you should be lenient on anybody who's family, because I remember they pulled over Netta and she was smoking when Gritty got killed, bro. And but it's no way y'all know y'all following from the church.
Yeah.
We're literally not even
Exactly.
far enough for them to be coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
Are they getting charged with something? Because they should be in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do you got them in cuffs?
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
They be trying to be so malicious and funny. Like they do. They be trying to like make a mockery of some shit.
Yep.
I swear to God.
I think they already knew we was having that meeting.
They already.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant the first time?
No, right
No,
today.
right today.
Yeah,
She said they just came from there.
Yeah. And he looked like the one. I don't like the one. He looked like the one with the hat. He looked like his cousin or relative.
They not about to commit shooter or nothing. He like my age. Like, no, nigga, no, nothing that.
Yep. Yep.
Bro, look, everybody pulled us
Yeah, what the whole community. Look at him about to call back up. Go ahead, call back up. Yep. Yep.
Y'all about to go to crash?
We was already there. We left. Like,
Girl, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't do that. It's split at girls. It's one dude on the
Yep. Yep.
one black man.
Yep. Why?
What happened?
Okay, you gotta warn us. They be putting out shit. Arrest your mom from like 1970.
Facts. They don't care. Just comply. Even if you comply.
Because you can't just pull over somebody who's not breaking the law.
Especially if I'm not even driving.
They said it smelled like weed.
But that's not a reason to pull you over. That's after the fact.
I'm talking about what was the traffic stop?
Like, what was the reason for the lights being switched on?
Oh, they pulled you from a broken tail light. Okay. I ain't making one wrong move. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know. To pull over the family leaving that event is very inconsiderate. It's actually disgusting if you ask me.
They don't give a damn. They don't have souls. They
Y'all
do
couldn't
not
come
care.
inside to the event, but y'all sat outside and waited for his family to pull off.
So they know what they're doing.
Yep.
They trying
Like
to act like they don't know.
y'all did that
They
on
know
the
what they're doing.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come over
yeah,
here.
they know
They ready to slam us.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody else good now.
Y'all under a scope. Y'all need to follow protocol from now on. For real.
They ain't talking about marijuana. How you smell marijuana from outside? You're not even in the car.
The tail light.
What?
Was he even the driver or what? He just was. Oh.
Yeah, he way in the back. Y'all be doing
Right, but what's the most to say you're a passenger? I'm not driving.
Right.
Y'all knew. Y'all ran his thing. Y'all ran his thing.
Look at you. Hold on.
Hey, girl. Yeah. We ain't playing. We ain't playing with them at all. It's really up. Like, we're not playing. Justice for all. We're not playing none of that. We ain't having none of that. Oh, you got family. You got us. Period. We ain't having none of that. Tired of this.
Basically, what the family believes is going on right now is that they are being targeted, that the family is being targeted. The family of Stephen Phipps, who was killed by the police officer, believes that their family is now being targeted. And that's thus the reason why they were there at the event where they were having a town hall meeting and then waited until after the event, shortly after pulling over a few of the relatives of Stephen Phipps.
They looked in the car.
Yeah,
Did they have a warrant? Oh, that was a reason. That was a warrant. gang.
They're
in
under
it,
the
that's
drug
why.
Oh, okay.
We know
Terrifying.
They do.
As a young adult.
Facts. Like, man, what is that when you bring a task force? Girl. They knew what we was on. What he say? What he say? What he say?
Just said it was for the tail light. What is it? Because if it was going straight down Ames, how was that a...
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's okay. Y'all can still sue for harassment. Too many of y'all last names.
It's not working. Again, it's the same thing. The daylight turn signal, it doesn't work. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, what do you know? This is a real thing.
You're a dickhead. You a fucking dickhead, nigga.
Fuck out of here.
You see you?
If they was going straight, what they turning for?
Y'all be looking. Y'all be bitching.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
That song, nigga. You see a whole bunch of black people don't know how to speak to black people.
Yeah.
Don't even know how to treat black
Y'all
people.
racist? Y'all racist? That's what it is.
When you're speaking to an adult who's inquiring about a child,
Call back up.
the dignity to speak right.
But go call back up. Go call back up. That's what y'all do. Y'all so intimidated by us.
They really is, nigga. I don't fuck with you.
Oh well. Nobody care about none of that. Nobody care about none of that.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
You get out of here.
I don't know.
No, I got in this.
Another one.
Nobody
another
give a damn.
dickhead.
Right, especially him right here.
Yep. Y'all not about to just be
I'm all
killing us.
legit, nigga.
Y'all just
Right.
killing us.
All legit.
Nobody give a damn about none of that.
I really don't give a fuck
Facts.
about none of
Law
that. You
or
want to
not.
talk crazy to people when they asking questions.
Y'all racist.
Nigga.
Facts. Y'all whole system is corrupted. Facts. Y'all know it is. That's why y'all so bothered. So bothered. Yeah.
That one over there. I feel like nobody that's not my minority, like a black person, should be patrolling North Omaha. Period. Right.
You got under his skin with that.
Yeah.
But
But it's the truth.
Yeah, y'all get up out of here.
Don't go over to that car.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't go over to that car.
Bro,
That's right, my guy.
just comply.
Right, just comply so you can make it.
Make sure y'all cameras is on.
Facts.
Make sure y'all cameras is on.
So y'all can see. Anything happens.
Let me get the plates.
Why you the back seat?
Yeah.
Another police officer in the back?
Yeah.
That's weird. Isn't he hostile?
Why you in the back seat? You have to be back.
Yeah. I feel like if you're not black, you're patrolling North Omaha.
Y'all a bunch of racist pigs. Yeah, God gonna deal with y'all and the community. Y'all ain't about to keep killing us. Period. Y'all already knew what was going on today. Look at the jump out boys. Yeah,
Pull you over so much you can't like.
yeah, yeah. Look at them scared, acting like they so scared. We the ones that's scared. Don't get too close.
Yeah, there was I know there was one improper turn at least, and then I think they failed to use the turn signal.
I ain't got nothing better else to do. Nothing better else to do. Like y'all don't do that. But y'all think y'all above the law though. Yeah. No, but you understand, ain't no peace. There ain't no peace. I understand you are. But you need to understand what we dealing with. We tired. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, okay. Okay. I respect that. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I hope you understand how y'all system is and what we've been going through. You know. You can listen. Do you know how your system is? Well, yeah, who you work for? Oh, but you know how that system is, though. The law.
I've done nothing
You know how to
but integrity my whole career.
Okay, respect.
So
Okay.
I believe in doing things right, doing it the right way. I work around some very good people. I know that.
Okay.
You know. So
I hope so.
There's people that are trying very hard, and I want you to recognize that for the police department.
And I do, but it's the system in itself. I ain't even talking about certain people. I'm talking about the system itself, in writing, how biased it is and how it's being. And you should know that though. You should know that. I ain't talking about the people, for certain people. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I said that.
All right, you guys. Now, as you can see, it's a lot of racial tension in our neck of the woods. I mean, a lot of us do believe that the police here, a lot of them are racist. We also believe that the system is broken, definitely broken. And even when we do comply, it seems like they're still scared. Like they're still scared. And this is like a national thing that's going on. Police say they be scared. That's their reason all the time when they shoot us. Just like a month ago, it was literally like a month before this most recent shooting when somebody else was shot at their home. The police were conducting a no-knock raid, and the guy came out of his bedroom, was not armed, but the police claimed because he was coming out the room and they couldn't see his hands, that they didn't know if he didn't have a weapon in his hands, so they killed him. So there's a reason why the anguish and the outrage is at a all-time high right now, in our community, and why we feel like the police is just doing too much these days. Now in Omaha, we have years of things going on in our police system that we think are corrupt. We have years of dealing with the chief of police that we think do not look out for our best interests and our community at all. Also, in our community over the years, there has been situations that have made a lot of people in our community frightened of the police, especially our black men, especially our young black men. And it is well known throughout not just our community, but nationwide, where a lot of young black men period, are afraid of police officers. Why? Because there's so many instances where police officers will shoot and kill a black man, and then they will literally get off for the crime. And just like with Don Klein, who is the county attorney and has been the county attorney since 2006, a lot of us believe that he really needs to go. He should have been gone. A lot of people believe Mayor Gene Stothert should have been gone, but these people keep getting reelected in our community. Don Klein, every time it seems like there's a police-involved shooting, they're always justified, no matter what it is. Now, I am a firm believer. I said this many times. I am a firm believer. If you do the crime, you do the time. But if this situation, again, another situation where we are so very, very concerned and we are trying to express our concern with the community, and then we have the police department seem like they're targeting certain individuals in our community. Now, you just saw in that footage where they were having a peaceful town hall event at a local church. The police was nearby the entire time. And then afterwards, they pulled somebody over. First, it was a tail light. Then it was turn signal for the reason for they to pull them over. But let me read. Matter of fact, let me show you exactly what they posted on their Facebook page. Okay, so here we go, y'all. Here we go. This is from the Omaha Police Association Facebook page. Now, they're trying to say that there was threats being made against the police at this church rally. Okay, but then we see in the footage and we hear in the audio that they said they pulled these guys over because of a tail light, and then also then they said like a signal light. But anyway, they said lately we've seen a major increase in threats against the lives of Omaha police officers. Let it be clear, we take these threats seriously and will pursue charges against anyone who dares threaten the safety of our members. At a direct action response to police violence, community rally held at a church, 2 attendees thought it was smart to talk about shooting Omaha police officers. After these individuals left their anti-police gathering, a traffic stop was conducted, and both individuals, Cantrell and Cornell Phipps, had felony warrants out of Texas. One of them, Cornell, was even carrying a handgun. Is this who you want representing this cause? Criminals with illegal firearms making threats against police at a church event? Additional charges are pending, and these two will face the full force of the law. They then go on to say, maybe next time the organizers should think twice about who they're inviting into their community police meetings. This kind of rhetoric does not solve any problems. Update. We have since learned that these comments were made by individuals outside the front door of the church, not over the microphone. The incident was reported to the police and a traffic stop was conducted. We stand by our statement that anyone making threats to shoot and kill one of our members will face legal consequences. Now, I was not there at this event. I was not there at this community rally that was held at the church. But a lot of times when we do have community meetings or rallies in our city, as well as, other cities, in the nation, it is very well known or very well expected for police to be somewhere in the vicinity of the rally. Okay, you could be having a peaceful rally and there'll still be some police parked outside, down the street, round the corner. I remember several months back this summer when we was protesting against OHA for bed bugs in a lot of the senior living communities around our city. And where we had our little community meeting outside, there was police like literally parked along the street. And we were protesting for bed bugs, for OHA to do something about all these bed bugs written, infested housing units for the elderly and, for those who have handicaps. And the police were even there. Now, the thing about it is we didn't hear anything from the police when they were inspecting that car or, going through that car, arresting them or whatever, pulling them over. We didn't hear anything about, oh, we were told that you guys were making threats against us. What we heard was tail light and signal light. And again, I say again, all the time, if you do the crime, you should do the time. They're also saying that one of the guys that they pulled over had a handgun, and both of them had felony warrants out of Texas. If you have a warrant out for your arrest, and if you did a crime, you are still, of course, supposed to be provided due process. I'm not saying this didn't happen with these two individuals, but what I'm saying is the police, for some reason, when it comes to this family and other members of our community, it seems like they are really targeting and harassing certain people in our community, our area specifically. One thing I would like to say about the handguns, if you have a handgun, whether you have a concealed license or, matter of fact, we don't even need concealed anymore because they passed that about a year or so ago. But if you have a gun and it's registered or you have a license or whatever for it, one thing you must know, to my community, you have to let police know right away that you have a gun in your car. I'm not saying that would have saved Stephen's life. I'm not saying that at all. Because we done seen black people been put down for less. Okay? Can we say George Floyd? Okay? So I'm not saying that would have saved his life. But what I'm saying is, again, I say to my sons all the time, if you get pulled over, do this, do that. Don't try to pick up no cell phone. Make your movements really slow and steady and easy. If they tell you to grab for your license or grab for your registration or something like that, look an officer in your eye. Don't look shady. Try to be respectful, even if it seems like an intense situation, because police be scared. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 of them, and they'll be scared of us. Knowing we're scared of them. They know people in Black communities are scared of the police. But what they do is they flip that shit and say they fear for their lives. Now, there could have been a lot of things that could have went differently in the Stephen Phipps situation. A lot of things done differently. That's why somebody asked in police academy and police training, in these type of situations where somebody is running with a gun, is it necessarily to shoot to kill if you don't feel threatened? Now, a lot of us didn't see a threat there. You can leave your comments in the comment section if you like. But me, I watched that video several times, and every time I hear the audio, I cringe. Especially when he shot, and it sounds like he said, okay, 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 I'm down, I'm okay. And it's like 8 shots. It's a lot of overkill that goes on in the police department when it comes to certain people. And let me show y'all this. Let me take this off of here. I'm gonna show y'all this. Because a lot of things that we notice in the Black community is a Black person can literally do something very similar to something that a white person has done, but that white person will live to see another day. Yet the Black person, man, it's like a blessing. It's like luck. It's like a blessing that they get to go home to their family. Okay, so let me show you this right here. Matter of fact, I'm going to show his picture. Let me hold on, let me make it bigger. Okay, hopefully you can see this very well, you guys. Okay, so this particular young man in our community, by the way, 20-year-old man faces multiple charges after allegedly fleeing arrest while armed and intoxicated. A 20-year-old man faces multiple charges after he was allegedly intoxicated and fled arrest while in possession of a stolen vehicle early Sunday morning. At around 2:19 a.m., Sheriff Sargent was flagged down near 155th Street and Stony Brook Boulevard after people noticed a person slumped over in a vehicle, authorities say. According to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, the sergeant woke the driver, identified as John Pitzer, who appeared intoxicated. Authorities said Pitzer then reached for a knife, and the sergeant gave loud verbal commands for Pitzer to keep his hands visible. Pitzer did not comply to the orders, moved across the vehicle, exited the passenger side, and fled from the sergeant. This is what the sheriff said. The sergeant pursued and attempted to place Pitzer under arrest as he resisted, authorities said. The sergeant was able to restrain Pitzer after several minutes with help from a concerned citizen. Pitzer was arrested for possession of a stolen vehicle, possession of methamphetamine, resisting arrest, open container, possession of drug paraphernalia, and an outstanding warrant for assault. But he lived to see the next day. He lived for his due process. Obviously, you see where we're going here. And you see why so many Black communities across the nation have been outraged about what we deem as injustice, police brutality, unjustified police shootings in our Black community. This right here is a perfect example. Like, he had a weapon. He didn't stop. He didn't comply when the officers told him don't move. He exits the vehicle and fled, meaning he ran. And then when they tried to place him under arrest, he resisted. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Now, of course, after that happened in our community, as far as the situation at the church where some of the relatives were arrested after the church rally, one of our community leaders did speak out on Facebook. And so I'm going to show that real quick right now.
What's up, world? It's Leo.
And first, let me say thank you to everyone who's sending condolences to the Lewis family for the loss of our loved one who we lost at Los Diablos over the weekend. The last time I talked to my cousin was down at Los Diablos at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was out doing public safety work, just walking through. And me and him had a great conversation about life, about our goals and ambitions and what we could do to help better our community and our family. That's what we talked about at 3 o'clock in the morning, standing outside at Los Diablos. When I'm regularly down there, I walk through and I don't see a lot of people who claim to do outreach work or ministry. And I'm not saying that people aren't doing that work. I'm saying that there's a very small amount of people who are actually doing the work, and we're exhausted. So we appreciate the encouragement, the condolences, the prayers, and the people who stand with us when we do this work. And it just so happens that I wasn't there that night. But I'd like to say this, because I recently facilitated the town hall meeting just hours after finding out that my cousin was killed. And even with that going on, I knew that our community still needed a place where it can vent, where it can breathe a little bit and find comfort in one another, to share narratives and understand that we're not alone when we go through things in our community, especially when it comes to issues of police violence or harassment. If you know what happened with Stephen Phipps, then you know he was harassed, and he had interactions with officers in Dejas and Atkinson's a year prior to this last incident. And it's a shame that when we had this town hall meeting, aka rally, at a church in order to bring peace back to our city, that the police not only surveilled that area, but targeted 2 of Phipps' family members, arrested them, claiming that they have felony warrants, which they may have, I don't know. But what I do know is that they sat on that meeting and observed individuals and then targeted them, pulled them over, and then put out on their Facebook page a narrative that these 2 individuals stated that they were going to shoot and hurt police officers, and that is not accurate at all. One person in the community stood up and said that we need to take accountability and hold bad actors in our community accountable. And if we don't do it as men in our community, then nobody will. We have to, as men, stand up in our community and hold bad actors accountable, police or non-police. There was nothing said about threatening the lives of police officers whatsoever. However, it was taken that way by whoever decided to interpret it that and put that in an article and call it an anti-police rally. You can see how evil a person has to be insensitive to the Phipps family, but then go further and call them police haters, and then go further to villainize not only the church, villainize the event, and villainize the entire community. How evil do you have to be to do that? Pay attention to the targeting and the profiling that not only happened to Phipps, but what just happened during this rally that took place at this church. You see what type of people are running that page. I'm not saying that all police are like this, but somebody got to get together, because instead of saying sorry, instead of apologizing for the hurt and pain being caused in our community, what an institution is doing is trying to protect its egos and rallying behind the idea that it should go to war with an entire community. That's a shame. So people like me who love my community, who spend time handing out water, volunteering, serving in the greatest capacity in which I can, I have to make videos like this to let you know I'm still alive, and to know that a system is stacking up the odds against people like me and other people who want to see peace in our community, just so that they can save their egos and continue to do the work that they claim that they do, but in reality, it's just hurting some people. And instead of taking accountability for that, they want to continue to do the bad work and justify it. And that's not right. If you're in the community and you out here packing a gun and you got enemies and you killing innocent people like my cousin, you also need to be held accountable too. And that's the reason why I do what I do, is give people opportunity to make that shift, to do something better. And sometimes they just need to see good people. And so if you're a person that got a good heart and want to do good work, get with me, or get with one of these organizations, get with an institution, or do what's in your heart that you know is right to do, and stop procrastinating on it. Because this is real hard for me. Real hard for me. Because I'm one of the few people that really, really put it on the line. And I don't see a lot of people to my left and my right when I'm out there. There are some. It's just a few. But please, pray for me. Pray for my family. Pray for this community. And to the Omaha Police Officers Association that claims that it loves this city so much, then show it through your actions. I'm Leo. I love myself. I love my community, and I show mine through my actions. Peace, y'all.
Shout out to Leo and shout out to some of our other community leaders who have been involved, consistently involved in the progress and in the justice of our community. I like to also give my condolences to Leo as well. The young man who lost his life at the motorcycle club a few days ago, I don't know them personally, but I do want to give my condolences to the loss of your loved one and sending prayers and comfort to your family. Also, the same for the Phipps family, for Stephen Phipps and his family. My condolences as well to the loss of your loved one, and my prayers, sending prayers and comfort to your family as well, and definitely understanding because this is a hard time for a lot of us here. We still haven't, like I said, gotten over the fact that, you know, one of us was killed just a month ago, unarmed. Unarmed. You know, when you sleep at your home, whether it's the middle of the night or early in the morning, and you hear like somebody sound like they're kicking your door in from on all sides, and then next thing you know, you wake up, you come out of your bedroom, and you're just shot and killed. No chance. No chance of survival. No chance of, you know, seeing another day. And so we're still, you know, reeling over the fact that that happened in our community. And Don Klein again claims that it was justified. Now, Chief Smadawar did end up firing the police that, you know, was involved in that shooting, you know, saying that they did break some of the policies um, that, you know, they practice in the police department. So he was fired, but that's just for now. You know, the union is standing behind that particular officer. So who knows? He could get his job back. He could get his job back. But in the case of this most recent shooting, again with Stephen Phipps, we saw some videos. We listened to some family members speak. We listened to some community leaders speak. We also listened to Chief Smadawar and also to Don Klein. And our community right now is definitely divided. It's definitely divided. We're still in unrest at this time. Community unrest going on at this time. Community outrage going on at this time. You guys, would like to say, if you live in my community, stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Stay focused. Every time I end my videos, I always say, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. And when I say keep it hood, you know, people look at my platform, the hood table. Oh, it's a hood check. Yeah, I am from the hood. I am from the hood. Born and raised. Still live in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But the name of my platform and the purpose of my platform is not only to just do talks about TV shows or celebrities or trending news. It's also to discuss things going on in our hood. And when I say keep it hood, that means people who are born in the hood, you always have to keep your head on a swivel. You always have to think about how you're going to react because in situations like we see all the time, it's not safe for a lot of us out here. Just because you live in the hood doesn't mean that you might have a good job. Does not mean that you might not be a homeowner. Does not mean that you might raise your children to have values and morals. But you still can live in the hood and have all those things. Because your neighborhood does not have to define you. The way you were raised does not have to define you. It's like living in the hood or living in the ghetto and seeing a rose come through the concrete. You know what I mean? So when I say keep it hood, that just means remember where you come from, but also strive to do better. Live and learn and strive to do better. And our generations that we are raising that's coming behind us, we need to promote their growth, promote education, and definitely show our children how they should handle if they are going to be pulled over by a police officer or encounter a police officer. Anyway, you guys, On that note, please like and share the video. Subscribe to the Hood Table if you are not already subscribed. Please and thank you very much. Again, shout out to our community leaders, our community members who are dedicated into making sure that justice is served in situations like this, speaking out and up for us in situations like this, and bringing us all together so that we can learn how to pursue certain situations, how to keep the peace in our neighborhoods, and how to deal with police that we think are doing injustice to our community. And as I always say, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out.